You want. Hey guys, I'm back. Now, what were we going to talk about? Interesting. Oh, I know. When I was Victorian state government whistleblower number one, public enemy of the Victorian state government that warranted your money, Australian taxpayer money, being spent on things like having a person sit in my class to try to just annoy me or do, things like that. Literally paying a wage of having somebody sit, literally a conditioning school, literally. Like, I'll never forget this one time. There was this one person in my first year of study, and so I'd always play with them. This is how it got to this is the kind of example of the rope I dangled. So I'd do things like pretend to be on the phone, or genuinely be on the phone for that matter, depending on who I was talking to, and I'd be saying, oh yeah, and I'd get, knowing they could do nothing about it, and I wasn't doing it at like a social media post, I'd get a little bit, like I'd mention the corrupt police officers' names, places, times, the whole lot. Well, this one time, this is how, like, don't practice on me. This one time, this is how Keystone Cops Victoria is. This one time, I'll never forget, I did one of those ones, and at the moment this person was deep undercover, the anti-corruption unit's finest, here to watch over this whistleblower Caliph to make sure he doesn't talk about, any secrets when he was exposed to, And anyway, I did one of those ones. I was on the phone. Oh yeah, there was some story in the paper, enough to give me a little bit of a spark, something decent to talk about, but knowing exactly what I was doing. This person lost their mind. You need to share it. Oops, cover blowing. Anyway, so there's that like memory, knowledge bank. I've got heaps of those ones. But the one that I was really here to talk about this morning is in that period of like whistleblower, government, and aside the fact that there was a chain of communication warning people of me, literally, government departments warning each other, hey, careful, this guy, and clearly they've passed on, that's disturbing in itself, because you've got incompetence and mismanagement, but in a position where it's now protecting itself. It's not allowing the IBACs to do their job. The toothless tiger IBAC, they're not allowing, there's no independent body policing it, which leads to the mess we're in today. But anyway, so in that, I regularly had people basically trying to throw it on me. Like, oh, these people's jobs, or like, oh yeah, you're going to question that person, you think you could do it better, and which made me sick, because what we're forgiving toddler currency, we're forgiving weaponized sex offences, regular, we're forgiving ridiculous amounts, squillions of dollars, billions of taxpayer money getting stolen, literally getting misappropriated, or, shelf companies, or like, basically nowhere near proper process. Those Gantt charts, those Gantt charts and those PERT charts and those fart charts, screw those all up, girlfriend. Screw those all up in Victoria. They're just writing checks, literally. When you've got, put it this way, when you've got lower ranked prison officers complaining about higher ranked prison officers spending the money put aside, the money that nobody was asking questions on to repair a prison, and this happened in more examples than this. It was just this one at this stage. because the lower ranked prison officers had been thrown under the bus hectically, literally, here, just deal with this mess, and their warnings, their fears were just like, they're not just falling on deaf ears, they publicly weren't being listened to. It was disgusting. And sure enough, when there was any inkling of a challenge, those that were getting thrown under the bus just went, screw this, Jack. My bosses were treating me like shit. I'm not paid enough for this, and left. And then the riot started. Well, during that period, then the next rumour was that the 40 million allocated to repair that prison was rumoured heavily, strongly, and factually to be getting squandered, misappropriated. Probably added at least another 10 million, maybe 20 million. My point is, though, where the rumours like that don't just come from, the lower ranked officers don't just invent that. There's substance to that, right? And 10, 12 years and about 100 billion, 10 or 12 years later, and $100 billion publicly, there's no hiding it now. And, budgets that Jacinta Allen doesn't want the public to see, even though it's supposed to be all public, all this type of thing. It's pretty clear that's the template skeleton for all of Victoria's government departments, where possible. But the main thing I was really I was going to discuss is how the hell. So you throw it, see, that person, you're not happy, like it's somehow a whistleblower's fault that those higher up in the management offices not only aren't doing their jobs properly, but are doing the most, so you want to forgive or excuse the most disgusting. If you were the lower ranked decent people, like the Kangan teachers they involved, the teachers and nurses they got to do their dirty work for them, the disenfranchised drug addicted women who they dangled, you would be contacting IBAC. You'd be saying, no chance, this guy is right. These are just governments. These people shouldn't be treating citizens like this in Australia. This is ridiculous. But who knows? They would rather just target it on the one bad guy, the whistleblower. Even the media did the same thing. The media, I made sure of it. When I was mid this order, right about the time that they ran the fake news story on the court camera hacking, it was right about then I said, you know what? I know exactly what I have to do. And I'm game over. No more mucking about for me. Books are being written. I'm owning it. Well, I went from, no, I couldn't do it. I haven't got it in me. And you can see that in the first book. It babbles on because I didn't want to do it. I had to do it. You see how deep it runs. These are people's lives. And the people who are in a position to help and fix it are the most disgusting. I mean, I had a magistrate from one of those infamous Melbourne law families, the likes of the families that produced Gobbo. I mean, now, again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. That's nothing to be proud of. Gobbo, cut the bullshit, was sleeping with a high-ranking gangster while she was sleeping with a high-ranking corrupt police officer. So there's no claim oh yeah, we're great because we're part of a well-known Melbourne law family. We're honourable, reputable people. No chance. The chances of you being a damaged species, a damaged person, is probably closer to the point. And when I saw a magistrate from one of these higher ranked, one of these law families, one of these snouts in the trough law families, fully aware of what she worded as the sport being played with people struggling already, meth heads, in this case, a meth head who ends up lashing out violently and killing innocent people. And here's this magistrate making jokes about it like, oh yeah, bad luck, you know, shouldn't have come under the attention of the Gestapo then, having sport with you. I was a prosecutor once too. I'll never forget it, I nearly threw up. I was a prosecutor once too. I used to wear a uniform, and you're proud of that. And you're proud of being part of something that in effect killed a baby. You ought to have not only a good long hard look at yourself, you should be getting on the front foot and speaking to the people, the powers that be, and ensuring it never happens again. Publicly. Bye.